CB, is it time?
It is time for the buzzer beaters. Let's get going. Let's get going on the buzzer beaters, guys. Lululemon was just forced to apologize for a rather tone-deaf stunt at the Great Wall of China that attracted more than 2,000 people for a yoga event in which they featured at the Great Wall of China a Japanese traditional drum. Where does this stand on the list of all-time corporate tone deafness? Arthur, let's start with you.
I think in this day and age where we are painfully aware of everything, everything is in real time, and you have access to all the information, it's almost a shame that you can't give an effort to something without gaffing something. So, I mean, I think the intention was probably in the right place, but if you're going to execute it, you need to get some, when they do a war film or a film about a particular subject and you get someone who actually lived that life to kind of help orchestrate or advise, that's probably an easy way to kind of avoid that. But yeah, everything is the scrutiny these days is just amazing. I don't think it's an all-time anything because every other day it's like, Arthur, you were trying to wear a suit, but really a suit should have 2 buttons here and 1 there. What are you trying to? I don't know.
Scott, what's your take?
Yeah, I don't know if it's all-time. It is awkward, knowing that Imperial Japan occupied China between 1931 and 1945. Yeah. It's kind of a significant piece of their history. It looks sloppy, and for a brand that like Lululemon, which it's a premium brand, you would expect a premium level of research and diligence in going into a thing like this, and clearly they didn't do their homework. So unfortunate, yes. All time, probably not.
Dan, thoughts?
Yeah, no, I agree with Scott. I think it's definitely sloppy, and it just makes me think that they, for whatever reason, don't have somebody in the organization to raise their hand in that situation and say, we really do need that expert. In the past, when I've worked on creative pieces where you're trying to set the scene, you're trying to create something that you weren't there for, you really do need the people who know to help you, and they should be culturally aware. It almost strikes me as like a very European or Western point of view to be like, pick some Asian stuff and put it on the wall, and like that's where you run into trouble because culture is diverse.
My take, simple, is that cultural homework is not an option when you're a guest in somebody else's country, and they should have done the research.
Amen. So Bloomberg recently reported that tech workers who fail to embrace AI face 3 times the layoff risk of workers who use AI regularly. Do you think this is a trend across all industries and sectors, or is it unique to the tech industry that's developing the AI? CB, what do you think?
It spreads everywhere eventually, but let's be honest, there is a difference between the software engineer who won't use AI and the nurse who won't. There is a difference. Adoption should match the stakes. If you're in tech, resistance is career suicide. And in other instances or in other industries, it's more complicated. And saying otherwise is a bit oversimplification, I think.
Scott, what are your thoughts?
Well, look, it's useful technology if used appropriately. In terms of the trends of who's getting laid off and who isn't based on their AI use, I don't know enough across all the industries to know what's happening there. But I do know anecdotally there was at least one worker who used AI to program itself to look like it was being used while he just kind of went about his day.
That's pretty good.
That's probably one of the best uses of AI I have heard.
That's the guy you want in charge of your AI strategy.
That's right.
Dan.
I do think it is gonna spread, and it's just why I tend to say things like the Luddites are right and I'm a Luddite, because it's not about being anti-tech, but when you look at when automation is introduced, is it led by labor or is it led by capital? And this is a capital-led tech effort, and the problem with that is that it generally, when it's led by capital, it makes things worse. When labor is leading the technology coming into production, it's usually to make things better, to improve quality. A lot of this now is the people in the financial side of companies saying, well, we can just cut costs. Like, you have to use it or you're gone, or we think it'll be more productive. The thing that's going to shift too is just the reality of the situation as companies start to pay more for their AI use. The model is now, it's starting down the enshittification path. They're going to crank up the cost of tokens, and that's going to really change your financial commitment to it, because it's going to become way more expensive. And so the cheapest, most efficient option is it's going to be people. They're going to augment, AI. They're going to augment their work with AI, but we're trying to find out real quick. It's not going to replace people.
I have to register a conflict of interest here as someone who helped deploy and roll out AI at a company, and it ultimately led to them reducing the communications team.
Yeah.
Myself and others. It's Wild West. Wild West would be giving it a compliment. I think there's going to be a pendulum swing. I think there is all of this, hey, here's opportunity, cost cutting, and things that make shareholders light up. But then it's like, hey, there's work that we really need done that these machines aren't really equipped to do. Let's hire some more people, maybe in different jobs, maybe in jobs that integrate more with the machinery. But people still are important, I think.
You got Satya Nadella's podcast appearances, Jamie Dimon's shareholder letters, Elon tweeting through global events at 2 a.m. At what point does a CEO stop being a business leader and start becoming a full-time media personality? Dan.
I don't think CEOs should be media personalities, quite honestly. I think that's, to use the scientific term, that's star fucking, and you need to stop. You can have a profile, but being some kind of celebrity, like the celebrity CEO, look, they're not geniuses. A lot of them are just lucky people. A lot of them are really good at what they do, but you're the chief executive. You're the chief manager for the company. You're not a star. Stop it.
Scott, what do you got?
I tend to agree with Dan on that. I think 50% of a CEO's job is being the chief spokesman, the cheerleader in chief, if you will. Their role is to be out front and to be the voice of the company. But if it looks like they're spending their time doing all these other extraneous things, you have to wonder, are they actually doing their job? I mean,
Right.
Elon Musk is CEO of how many companies now? And he does all of them shitty. He does every single one of his CEO jobs he does in a crappy way.
He's Gordon Ramsay. He's the Gordon Ramsay of CEOing.
No, Gordon Ramsay's actually really good at what he does, though. Like, that's the difference. Like,
but he's got his face on a whole bunch of things. I haven't tasted Gordon's
true.
cooking.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm thinking of the idiot sandwich meme. So,
from my perspective, so we had a conversation with the head of the PR department from Newhouse at Syracuse University, and he said every organization is now a media company. And I think there's a spillover effect to every CEO now has to be a de facto media broadcaster as well. I will take a page, though, from my New York Knicks again. Leon Rose, who runs the team, does not do interviews. Our GM does not talk to the media at all. He refuses to. The first time I've seen him on microphones, like, all right, at the parade, now I'll talk. I think there is an opportunity to designate a somebody or somebodies who are that face, that, projecting, and let the CEO run the company and do their job and not have to be, not every person is cut out to be a celebrity. Not every person wants to, not every capable person that you would want running a company, not every bankable person wants to be in front of cameras and doing that.
All I'll say is Nadella and Diamond are using their platforms to reinforce business positions. Elon is performing for an audience. One of these is a strategy. The other is a narcissistic personality disorder with a press pass. It depends on how you're using it and how you're using that visibility. I think in some cases it's well placed and well done, and in other cases it's performative. And you just have to be able to, as the audience, look through and see which one is which.
Well said. Yeah. One of these kids is not like the other. I really like this question. See, this was a clever one from our research department. So Sam's Club has undergone a rebranding effort to attract younger consumers and challenge Costco's lead in the warehouse market. The rebrand is simple: a switch to lowercase letters and a diamond-shaped apostrophe meant to convey shared ownership. is this really going to be what gets younger millennials and Gen Z shoppers to choose Sam's Club? Or is there more work to do? What do you think of this new branding? Scott, we will start with you.
I mean, come on. Lowercase letters, really? I mean, look, if you really want to attract the millennials, take the apostrophe out.
Yeah. and the vowels too.
And the letter symbol,
SMS.
those letter symbol things. LOL, smiley face.
Their visual brand has nothing to do with why people are or are not using Sam's Club. Offhand, I would say maybe their association with Walmart might have something to do with it for some people. And there is a certain something about Costco's culture that really engenders not only loyalty but attracts new people too. Just their approach to how they treat their employees, how they treat the world. There's a consistency there, and there's a trust there, and there's a great $1.50 hot dog combo deal.
Yes.
There is always that. Damn.
I don't know what Sam's would have to do to attract younger people, but I can tell you this ain't it.
75-cent hot dogs. So
Hey, all right. Dan,
what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I do think that Scott's 100% right. The visual brand is not what it's going to take to get that younger consumer. It would be a 75-cent hot dog in some ways, in the sense that, yeah, lower your price is what you need to do. But the problem is, for me, I'm not going to shop at Sam's Club if I can help it because it's Walmart. And Walmart is corrosive to a lot of businesses. Costco has a good reputation. They have great products. You know that the Kirkland brand stuff is good stuff. And in the sense that like Sears used to with Kenmore and stuff. And that kind of equity takes forever to build. You can't do it with a rebrand. You have to do it with action. And so, yeah, if Sam's Club is going to reduce some of its prices and try to make themselves look friendlier, I don't think you can get around some of the baggage. And, you know, the whole like sleek tech redesign, we've gone lowercase and changed like, come on, like Scott said. So come on.
So before we get to CB, I'm going to say this segment is not and will never be brought to you by Walmart. CB, what are your thoughts?
Oh, thanks for the tee up there. But I don't hate the logo from a branding standpoint, from a typography standpoint. It's clean, it's simple, it's fine. But you don't build loyalty with the typography. You build it with the shopping experience. We've all kind of talked about this. Think about the food court and changing whether it's lower prices or a broader array of what you provide, the treasure hunt kind of shopping experience. Those are the things that are going to win people over. I don't know in the current economic environment if people will be as tied down with the quote baggage of being Walmart. I think people are going to be looking for prices and being able to make the most of their dollar during a difficult economic time. So I think if Sam's Club focuses on the internal experience of shopping there along with the new iconography, then they're going to be in better shape. If all they're going to do is rebrand the visual logo, then it's not going to have any impact.
So, well said. Once upon a time, I worked for a very successful company who had a well-known brand insignia, which is 2 interlocking circles, but I will not name who they are. An agency was paid many millions of dollars to do a rebranding effort for us that took our 2 interlocking circles and turned them into, wait for it, 2 interlocking circles. So I blame that kind of thing for the prevalence and the thought people have that AI can do our jobs, because when that's the output or the outcome, it's like, really, guys? The hubris, the narcissism, all the stuff. Like, it's Cannes Lion award winning. We turned 2 circles into 2 circles.
Tropicana had an issue with the rebrand too, like a visual brand. Yeah. So they had to back away from it. Look, millennials and Gen Z, like, they don't have money because their like previous generations have really screwed them. So lower your prices. That's how you get that audience.
All right, guys. A recent column in Forbes posited that specialization, which used to be a thing that you built your reputation on as a deep expert in one particular area, is now becoming a hindrance now that AI can passively recreate expertise in a single focus, and that the ability to wear more than one hat is the advantage now. Do you agree with that? And if so, do you think AI is the driver? Scott, I'll start with you.
Look, I think this is just another instance of kind of the cyclical nature of business. A while ago, being a generalist was what it was all about, and then being a specialist is what it's all about. And I've heard in recent years that, again, back to generalization, having the long view, understanding strategically how things fit together. And now you've got AI that's coming in, making specialization essentially more of something in demand. I think we're going to continue to see this ricochet, this back and forth, this pendulum swinging. And I don't think AI is either the solution or is to blame in this area. I think AI can be a great helpmate in terms of helping us become better, but ultimately, I think human intuition and human knowledge, at least from having experience in some of these things, will help us make better decisions.
I don't have anything to add to that. Arthur, how about you?
We're not seeing the death of specialists. We are seeing the death of maybe certain specializations, but people being good at a thing and others being good at other things is the basis for every company, every organization, every family, every group of human beings that get together to do something. And the machine is not going to replace that. And it just, some of the conversations and the questions that we end up asking both on this platform and just having to ask in general as people are crazy to me. Will AI replace the fact that we need dad? Like, no, we don't need dad. We got AI. But yeah, I think that there's a pendulum swinging, and you know, the question is going to be who gets hit by that pendulum as it swings back. How much is going to cost them, or you know, in terms of time, resource, money, livelihood, or whatever.
You know, Christopher and I are both big fans of The Twilight Zone. He may have shared this fact with you already about his love of The Twilight Zone. There is, I mean, there's a lot of great episodes that are really well known. A lot of them are just time capsules, but there is one, I think, that has lived on more than any other one. And it's not a really well-known one. It's from season 5. It's called The Brain Center at Whipple's. And it's about a CEO. It opens with a scene of a CEO presenting to his board about all the efficiencies they're creating by putting this new computer system in. And they've got some 200,000 people that work across the country in their factories, and they're putting all of them out of jobs because they're replacing it with a computer system. And we've seen this on the moving assembly line in the auto industry. Yes, there are robots that do some of the work, but there's also an integration of humans as well. So there's this blend of humanity and technology. And the great irony at the end of that Twilight Zone episode, which you can stream live on Tubi if you want to go look it up. It's available
or on Pluto.
Which season and episode is that? I'm an avid Twilight Zone person.
Season 5?
I don't remember that
season
one.
5.
Season 5 episode, I believe 32 or 33.
31.
Ooh.
31? Okay.
Well, these are full seasons when you had like 50 something episodes. Yeah.
So, and the great irony is you get to the end of that episode and the CEO has been replaced with a robot. Right?
And then he goes to the bar and complains to the foreman of the factory that it's not fair that computers replace humans.
Exactly. It's such a metaphor for where we are now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really is.
So the CCO at Booking Holdings, Booking.com, Priceline, etc., some of the names under their umbrella, is on record as saying that employers should not encourage employees to be brand ambassadors. That advocacy is more effective when it's genuine and organic, and that false enthusiasm shows through. Why do you think so many companies misplay this ball and still try to force advocacy? Scott, we're about to put LinkedIn out of business, by the way. I love LinkedIn. No.
It's just Microsoft, man. Don't get too worried about it.
Yeah. there's a couple of things at play here. One is the internal communications function. These are the cheerleaders of the company, and they are just as rosy and annoying as some cheerleaders are, and not everybody feels the same way.
I am one of those people.
Yeah, I did that at Ford. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't fault these people. This is an important function, and they do a really good job at conveying information to people. But to expect other people at the company who may be downtrodden, who may be up against a lot of different struggles, to come at it with that same level of rose-colored glasses and to repeat the same thing. And here's the thing. If you see the same phrase from employees all across LinkedIn or whatever platform they happen to be using, it's fake. It's not authentic. It's like giving a press release to a bunch of influencers and having them all read it on camera. It's just not authentic. And authenticity is really where it comes to life. If they want to say something, great. If they don't want to say anything, that's okay too. It's not a requirement. So the companies that take that kind of approach and say, all right, here's information that, you might want to take in, do with it what you will, and then people will.
Yep. This CCO is 100% right. You have to be a good place to work and make your people just enthusiastic about organically sharing, because otherwise it's not going to ring true. And at Ford, what we saw was there was this desire to control the message. And I understand that when you're a large organization like that, you want to be careful. You want to make sure that the right thing gets out, the wrong thing doesn't get said, that you then have to clean up. But I found myself in those situations saying, like, maybe we shouldn't just do anything. Like, we can give them some photos if they want to share them, but you have to understand too, there's a bifurcation in the people. There's the people who build the cars, where they're not going to necessarily give you extra labor on their socials that are for them than the people who work in the corporate offices, where they're more enthusiastically going to boost the message. But it is that control, and just let go. Just, it's okay.
And trying not to lose our jobs to AI.
Yeah, you just it's what do you get out of it? And I think you talked about this. Like, what do you actually get for that? And you only really get vanity metrics and sort of you get some likes.
Right.
It doesn't help your earned strategy. It doesn't really fit. So you should just not worry about it like that. You should let the company sort of speak for itself in terms of how good it is to work for.
CB.
I think companies keep forcing this because building real culture is slow, hard, and it doesn't show up in this quarter's metrics. And an ambassador program does, and that's why it gets pushed. This isn't something that any communications person hasn't thought of a million times, and we just wish our executives would believe it. You can't force it, and it's a way of making something show up so we can say, oh, we have 9,712 employee ambassadors now, without really looking at the impact of it. So it's a metrics play, pure and simple.
So I will build on something that Scott and Dan kind of alluded to. I think the goal should be to create something that is so memorable and impactful in terms of experience and in terms of just inspiring people that they want to say, hey, look at what we're doing, versus go out and share it on your socials. Because now that's where you end up having AI creating this stuff, literally. I've been on that side of it. AI actually crawling through and liking things. It's AI playing tennis with AI. And everyone knows it's fake. It's like, yeah, you when you have 5 members of an executive team and they all use the same language, and it's like, okay, these are not the same people. I know these people personally. He wouldn't say that. She wouldn't phrase it like that. All right, guys, fine.
This is
Come on.
Tulip mania, my friends. Tulip mania. Yeah.
All right. Elite soccer players are literally taking scissors to their high-tech multi-million-dollar Nike and Adidas kits to cut holes in their socks for physical comfort. Some have proclaimed that it looks a little sloppy and disrupts the pristine uniform brand aesthetic. If you're the CMO of a global apparel brand and your top athletes are visually defacing your product on television to make it functional, do you cry foul about the brand degradation, or do you immediately pivot and try to capitalize on this DIY phenomenon? Arthur.
I'm designing a sock that has the holes in it neatly, cleanly. Say, hey, guys, can we do this? If I'm the athletic sports apparel company that has Lionel Messi as their spokesperson, I'm going to be the first doing it. Here's the storyboard for my ad campaign. I'm going to show the ones where the people cut the holes in their socks. I'll say messy. And then I'm going to show a picture of Lionel, more messy. And then I'm going to show him wearing the cleanly cut, less messy. There you go. Give me the business.
That's pretty
You can
good,
reach me
man.
into
That's
it.
pretty good. We should, let's do it, man. That's pretty good.
Scott, what's your take?
I can't beat that. I mean, that's amazing. Look, here's the opportunity, I think, for any brand that sees people using their product in a new and different way. Make it easier for them to do what they want to do. Adopt the design. Bring in the expert hole cutters. I mean, there's all kinds of ways. This is a little silly, obviously.
I know an agency.
And this one's a little silly because, I mean, okay, you take some scissors, you open your socks up, not a big deal. But apply this thinking to other, brand changes that you want to make, product changes that you want to make. There's an opportunity to do a collab with people. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to embrace this rather than to reject it wholesale.
I'll just say this as you know, one of the reasons that I've seen that was cited in the New York Times article that we got this from was that they were doing it because they felt it was constricting blood supply and potentially, causing cramps. I'll tell you this, as a diabetic, I know that compression socks actually do more to help your circulation. So the logic behind cutting holes in the socks is completely scientifically invalid. It's purely an aesthetic thing at this point, I think, for whatever reason this trend has caught on. And then to what everybody has said so far, if that's the trend, then bring in the expert hole cutters and embrace it and run with it for a while. But the science is completely jacked up on this.
Yeah.
We joked earlier whom this segment is not brought to you by, but this segment is brought to us by Scott. What would you have? What are you up to? Where can people find you? This Buzzer Beaters is brought to you by Scott Monty and whatever he has to say next.
It's brought to you by Timeless Leadership, which you can find out more about at scottmonty.com. And while you're there, you can sign up for the Timeless and Timely newsletter. I'm delighted to bring the working together, the timeless working together story to your company, to a retreat, to a corporate event, etc., and tell people more about how it is that Ford went from zero to hero with the help of Alan Mulally and this marvelous philosophy that can work for your company, whether it's 10 people or 10,000 people, or even work around the kitchen table as you try to manage your family.
Awesome and amazing.
Very well
and I'm going to bring it home on a note that's very near to my own heart. So Jalen Brunson of the New York Knicks just capped off a legacy-defining NBA championship run and won Finals MVP to boot. Yet, at a modest 6'2", I wish for 6'2", he hardly fits the conventional hyper-athletic global superhero mold. Does Brunson's average guy who just outworks everyone persona make him more valuable to mainstream companies, corporate sponsors? Or does his lack of the conventional look hurt his global marketing appeal? Dan, I'm going to start with you.
I would say it makes him more valuable, right? Like, never underestimate somebody who's determined. They were determined, and he talked about it really, really well, actually, at the end of the game, when he was just trying to get left alone by the reporter. But it's true. It's the differentiation, the you're not like everybody else, and yet you pulled this off, and that's the story.
Awesome. CB, what are your thoughts?
Well, as a small market sports fan who's kind of conditioned to dislike every New York sports team on principle, I just have to ask that, are we really asking whether a New York sports figure who led his team to a championship is going to have any trouble getting sponsorships and media opportunity? Come on.
Scott, take us home.
Six words for you. Isaiah Thomas is 5'9".
Awesome. Well, I think that does it for this edition of the M-Dash Report. On behalf of Christopher Barger, Dan Roth, and the entire crew, I'm Arthur Baker even, wishing you farewell, fond regards, and good fortune for the future. Thank you, Scott. I'm jealous of Scott's radio voice now. That's why I'm a little flummoxed.
You got to start working at it.